What if I told you that the signs proving you're being protected by angels have already happened? But you ignored them, thinking they were just coincidences? Yeah, maybe that sudden chill, that flicker of light in your room, or that sweet scent from nowhere, wasn't random. It was a sign. Not just any sign, a direct message from heaven. The truth is, unseen presences are working around us all the time. And the Bible is filled with moments where angels show up in subtle yet powerful ways. The real issue? Most people are too busy waiting for a big miracle, while the true signs happen in silence. Now listen closely. What you're about to discover might completely shift how you see the spiritual world. Some of these signs you've already experienced, without even knowing. Others you're about to learn how to recognize starting today. And before anyone says, that's superstition, let me ask you this. Why would the Bible go into such detail about angelic activity if we weren't meant to notice it? I'm about to walk you through the clearest signs that angels are with you, with biblical truth, spiritual insight, and real-life depth. So come with me, because what you feel by the end of this video might be exactly what they want you to feel. What if I told you that your body can sense what your eyes can't yet see? Yeah. Goosebumps during a prayer, sudden warmth while reading the Bible, or even that chill down your spine when you're deep in thought. None of this is random. These signs, often brushed off as just feelings, may actually be physical responses to the presence of spiritual beings. Angels don't always show up with trumpets and glowing wings. Sometimes, they simply touch your soul, and your body reacts. Some people describe it as a peace so deep it's almost eerie. A stillness that doesn't weigh you down but lifts you up. Science might try to explain it as a shift in body temperature, but the Bible spoke of it long before science gave it a name. Like in Job, when a spirit passed and made the hair on his body stand. Or Elijah, hearing a soft whisper after the fire had passed. These are physical hints of something greater, subtle reminders that you're never truly alone. Now think about this. How many times have you been in crisis, praying, crying, or just trying to understand life, and felt something unexplainable? Maybe it was warmth on your shoulders, like someone placed an invisible blanket over you, or a chill that ran down your spine after hearing the exact words you needed. Don't ignore these signs. In many biblical accounts, angels brought peace. And that peace, my friend, is often felt before it's understood. Here's something practical you can do. Start writing down each time you feel these sensations. Create a signs journal, even if it feels odd at first. Over time, you'll start noticing patterns. Maybe during worship, while reading Philippians 4:7, or even on a walk while lost in thought. These moments are like invisible handshakes from beings who move in a different dimension, following divine orders to stand by your side. But hold on. What comes next might change how you see the spiritual realm forever. What if I told you that angels can also appear through flashes of light, mysterious sounds, or even a soft touch in your ears? Yep, the next sign might be even closer than you think. Imagine you're alone in your room at night. The lights are dim, the Bible rests on your lap, and out of nowhere, a subtle flash of light flickers by the corner of your eye. Or maybe it's a gentle ringing in your ear. Not annoying, just peculiar. What if I told you those flickers and sounds aren't random? These signs could be gentle taps from angels trying to communicate. Yes, they're not always loud or obvious. Often they whisper in light and vibration. In the Bible, Peter was visited by an angel, and suddenly the entire cell was filled with light. That wasn't just cinematic. It was real, and deeply symbolic. Angels are beings of high frequency, often described as radiant or shining. That's why many people report seeing flashes of white, blue, or golden light in moments of deep prayer or reflection. These signs might come when you're reading the Word, worshiping, or even asking for a sign. And then boom, a flicker, a blink, a holy shimmer. But let's go a bit deeper. Sometimes it's not about what you see, it's about what you hear. A name whispered, a frequency felt rather than heard. Just like Samuel called by God in the night, we too can be gently nudged by the divine through sound. Ever had a moment where it felt like your name was softly called, but no one was around? That sense of presence, that urge to listen? It might be more than imagination. Angels often stir our spiritual senses through subtle vibrations. One habit I recommend is stillness. Truly, Moame, take 5 minutes a day. No distractions, just breathing and being. Ask, am I alone or am I being shown something? Then wait. If the signs are there, they will come gently. You might notice the flicker of a candle without a breeze, or that familiar ring in one ear when you're thinking about something sacred. These are not accidents, they're signs. Clear, loving, divine signs. The angels reminding you, we're here. Still not convinced? Hold tight, because what comes next might hit closer to home. What if angels could visit you in your dreams, speak through your intuition, or even appear in visions when you're wide awake? The next chapter might unlock what your soul has been trying to tell you all along. Tell me something. Have you ever felt like someone was with you, even when the room was empty? That quiet sense of presence, a soft comfort wrapping around your spirit when you're on the edge of giving up. Yeah, that one. Many ignore it, brush it off. But what if that's one of the clearest signs that angels are near? Unseen, yet deeply felt. Like spiritual bodyguards moving in silence, responding to your prayers before you even say a word. Biblically speaking, Jacob dreamed of angels moving up and down a ladder connecting heaven and earth. That wasn't just poetic. It was literal insight into how divine messages and messengers operate. Angels move through dreams, through thoughts that interrupt our stress with peace, or gut feelings that scream, don't go there. You know that sudden change of mind that ends up saving you? Yeah. That's not just intuition. That could be signs, divine angelic signs. The problem is most people only trust what they can see. But spiritual sensitivity means you start to notice things others miss. For example, you might wake from a dream that felt more real than your day-to-day. A conversation, a warning, a hug that lingered even after waking up. Or you're sitting in silence and suddenly feel a weight lift from your shoulders. These are not fantasies. They're divine interventions. Subtle, sacred, and often unnoticed. To sharpen this sensitivity, try something simple but powerful. Keep a dream journal. Keep it beside your bed and write down any dream or strange feeling the moment you wake up. Over time, you'll notice patterns, themes, symbols, maybe even repeated messages. Combine this with prayer and Bible reading. Psalm 91 is a great place to start. And you'll begin to recognize when it's not just you thinking, but angels guiding. But stay with me, because what comes next will stir your senses in a different way. Have you ever felt the scent of flowers in a place where no flowers exist? Or found a feather where no birds could have been? Yes. Signs also speak through smell and physical reality. We'll talk about that in the next chapter. Okay, now let's get a little more mystical. Ever walked into a room and suddenly smelled roses, vanilla, or something sweet, but nothing around could explain it? No candles, no flowers, no perfume, just a divine aroma that fades as fast as it came. That's not just odd. It could be sacred. Many people report floral or honey-like scents during prayer, grief, or worship. Angels are known to leave traces like this. Signs, subtle but powerful, saying, "You are not alone." The Bible often uses fragrance as a symbol of God's presence and favor. Song of Songs speaks of perfumes that represent love and divine intimacy. These experiences are not limited to prophets. You, right where you are, could be experiencing them. It might happen while reading scripture, meditating on a verse, or even grieving someone you lost. These moments invite you to stop and feel, not with your logic, but with your soul. It's divine energy brushing past you. Another frequent sign: feathers. But not just any feathers. I'm talking about white ones, soft, out of place. Found in strange spots like your car dashboard, your kitchen, or in a closed room. And yes, skeptics will say, coincidence. But when you're asking God for clarity, or reading Psalm 91 about his feathers covering you, and then, there it is. That's not random. That's design. Divine design. Here's a tip. Create a sacred space in your home. A small altar with your Bible, a candle, Maybe even a feather or object that reminds you of God's promises. Make it a space of peace and presence. As you begin to quiet your soul, you may notice the atmosphere shifting, sense vibrations or unexpected symbols. And when they come, don't dismiss them. Acknowledge them. Give thanks. The angels are simply saying, "We see you." And guess what? It's not over yet. Because the next signs no vão passar despercebidos. They happen in plain sight, disguised as coincidences. I'm talking about repeated numbers, divine timing, and cosmic winks that prove there's a pattern behind everything. Let's dive into the next chapter. Let me ask you this. Have you ever started seeing the same number everywhere? 111, 444, 777. On clocks, receipts, license plates. Some call it coincidence. But those who walk close to the spiritual realm know better. These repetitions are often signs, breadcrumbs left by angels to confirm you're aligned with something greater. When the timing is too perfect, when answers appear out of nowhere. It's not luck, it's guidance. The Bible hints at this kind of divine timing again and again. Take the story of Esther. She was told she may have come to the kingdom for such a time as this. That's synchronicity. It's when God and his angels orchestrate details so precisely that the outcome shifts your life. Ever had that feeling of being in the right place, at the right time, hearing the exact word you needed? That's not random. That's the invisible hand of heaven. Angels often use repetition to get your attention. Think about it. Our world is noisy. So how do they cut through the chaos? Through patterns. Recurring symbols, phrases, verses, or dreams. Maybe you've had the same verse show up 3 days in a row, or 3 different people say the exact same thing to you. These are signs. They're not weird. They're whispers from the divine, wrapped in ordinary moments. Here's a spiritual exercise you can try. When you notice synchronicity, pause. Write it down. Ask in prayer, what are you trying to show me? Read Esther 4:14. Reflect on where you are right now. Is there something you've been avoiding? Is there a door opening that you're scared to walk through? Angels often use timing to push us toward alignment with our purpose, even when we resist it. But hey, before we close all of this, let me ask you, what if you've been surrounded by signs all this time and didn't see them because you were expecting something too grand? Maybe all you needed was to learn how to recognize the subtle. And that's why now, we go back to the beginning, to connect the dots and learn how to live with spiritually open eyes. Now tell me this, how many times have you received a sign and ignored it because it seemed too small? Maybe it was a dream you forgot too quickly, or a white feather that showed up right in your path. What if every one of those details was part of a bigger plan, and all you needed was to start seeing with the eyes of your soul? The truth is, the signs are there. Clear, constant, biblically backed. But only those who are spiritually awake understand that the invisible is often more real than what we can touch. So here's the question. Will you keep waiting for an angel to descend from heaven with wings wide open? Or will you start recognizing the subtle touches that have already surrounded you? Maybe it's not faith you're lacking. Maybe it's attention. So tell me in the comments, have you ever felt one of these signs? Experienced something that only the spiritual could explain? Your story might be what helps someone else wake up too. And hey, if this touched your heart, opened your eyes, or brought something special to mind, consider subscribing to the channel and turning on notifications. Here, we walk together, side by side, toward the truth that sets us free.